Actually, we had the Russia. I had to go through the Russia hoax, and it was actually it was a strain on the relationship. I actually told them. I said, you know, they got this phony investigation going on, Russia, totally phony, created by Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and Hillary Clinton and the whole group of them. And it made it very dangerous for our country because I was unable to really deal with Russia the way we should have been. I'm looking at Pam because I hope something's going to be done about it. These people put our country at great danger. And Adam Schiff, it was all made up. It was a hoax. The Mueller report came out. They all hated me. They had 18 Trump haters. And they said I did nothing wrong. They couldn't believe, they couldn't find anything. After years of investigation, it was all a hoax. It was a hoax created by the Democrats, but in particular Schiff and Crooked Hillary, the whole group. And now we've learned all the stuff that's come out over the last 2 months is incredible through intelligence. And hopefully something's going to happen with it. These are people that put our country in danger, in real danger. I want to thank you all very much. Thank you very much. I'm determined to make Washington, D.C. safe, clean, and beautiful again. It's going to take place very rapidly. Be prepared. And a big part of that's going to include the Kennedy Center. So thank you very much. And I want to thank everybody for helping us. This is mostly the...
Pay very close attention. It's going to take place very rapidly. Be prepared. What is he referring to? Anons no. In this Q post, the word quickly is highlighted in red. Q post 32, fast. The other Q post 35, quickly. Q post 17, highlighted, prepared. Q post 64, prepared is highlighted, and in this Q post, prepared.
Let me read this real quick. Good morning. I came to court today and told the judge that I disagreed with the amount that I owed and if I can be granted a motion to compel private arbitration on this matter, as I was not given that right, and proceeded to say that synchrony clearly states that they and myself have that right. The judge looked at me and smiled and asked the lawyer if the contract states that. He knew that already. The lawyer said that he doesn't know, but I am probably right. The lawyer either really didn't know because he's there to collect a check or he playing stupid. The judge smiled again and said I knew my stuff, and he set a new appointment for March 5th. Then the attorney basically said that they might throw it out. I'm trying to tell you guys, if you make it inconvenient for these third-party debt collectors, I believe this was Midland if I'm not mistaken, then they don't want to fight. Just read what I read right here, pause it, whatever you have to do. You can literally rinse and repeat this. And the judge knows, and the attorney for Midland, they know what's going on. But shout out to this person right here. They literally went to court today. 7:58 was 15 minutes ago in California time where I'm at. Don't remember what state they're in. But as y'all can see, took my advice. It's pretty much a done deal. Awesome job.
How does the strategy of borrowing against crypto later on down the road, instead of actually selling it, how does that work with the current tax system?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Often one of the best ways to avoid having a tax is to avoid having a taxable event. And whenever you sell, exchange, dispose, whether you're going from one crypto to another or crypto to US dollars, that's a taxable event. However, if you borrow against your crypto, you take a loan, that is not. So if you use your Bitcoin, Ripple, other tokens, and you use it as collateral and receive a loan, this way you're able to get the dollars or other tokens that you're trying to achieve, but not have a taxable event. Of course, in the future, you've got to pay back the loan, so you need to make your own financial decisions about whether the loan makes sense. But from a tax perspective, if you believe that the prices are going to continue to go up and you don't want to actually sell, you don't want to have a taxable event, taking a loan against it is a often very effective tax strategy.
You're waiting on Iraq to RV, or do you think Iraq's waiting on the bonds and the reset to be finished I think Iraq's waiting for the bonds and the reset to be finished. Not much else makes sense when we look at the news. Mark, so many intel folks have gone quiet. Any thoughts? Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, Guardian Morgans. You may have missed some of those podcasts, but there is a lot of pressure, especially coming out of the Reno area and the Zurich area. Whew, brain farting on that one. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, Switzerland, Zurich. To stay quiet that we could affect timing. I think that's BS, but at the same time, I already don't share some of those specifics when they share them because, one, they've bitten me in the butt too many times and not proven to be accurate because this thing is so fluid. And two, it's just no need to get people extra on the hopium roller coaster. Too many good things happening to play that game. But there's a lot of pressure not to talk about specific dates. So a lot of the intel people have either honored that or admitted they don't know anything and quit talking about it. Or when I say that, guys, I don't mean that they're all idiots or don't know anything. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that none of us know the timing. That's what I was referring to. And we don't know for a very good reason. If all of the bond people get funded, John, then it should tell us we are probably within 3 to 5 days of us getting funded, if they indeed get real spendable money. That's why I keep watching the historic bonds, because if we understand the process correctly, that's how it's supposed to happen. Quite a few bondholders have been signing NDAs. We've had a lot of them come forward and say, can't talk about it, got an NDA. But then we also have to ask ourselves, how many are using that as an excuse? So we'll quit asking them questions. You think we will have martial law before the RV? I think we already have. I think we get martial law at the same time as the RV. I was always told same time.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. It's my question. I want to know. I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
This was posted by Majeed on X, 11:39 a.m. August 12th, 2025. Going international. Central Bank Governor implementing the banking reform plan restores relations with international correspondent banks.
Did you catch it? Text to 45470 greater than 4 plus 5 equals 9, 4 plus 7, box 11911, done in 30, end of occupation, return of real POTUS, thoughts, posted by Bourbon Girl. This is how close we are. As you all know, my whale friend was murdered, and now another conservative presidential candidate in Colombia was nearly killed together with other delegates as they shot his car window. Lucky for him and the delegates, no one was hurt. This is what is happening now. The cabal is doing everything possible to shut us down, as they know we are definitely close now. Please be safe, everyone, and don't post anything in social media that might get you in trouble. I'm remaining quiet here, and hopefully cross the finish line very soon. God bless Wolverine.
Hey guys, how are you? I got a disturbing message this morning. It's a message that I personally have received before, but given actions in the last 24 hours, these guys are not messing around. So what I received, it was an anonymous message. I do have a feeling it come from within the military. It was very military-like. The actual, how they presented the message and what they said and how they said it. Basically, they've uncovered a plot to silence me permanently, and I've received this before. It's not the first time, as you guys that followed me for a while know, that there was a sniper in the bush when I was walking with Mum in the park. And there was a sniper and a bad guy having a standoff, and I was the target. It was a bit of a show of power, show of strength, shall we say. And this morning they said that there is a plot to silence me permanently, and they are uncovering plots and plans to silence other truthers, intel providers regarding RV, medbeds, all this kind of stuff. And group leaders, group owners, whales, those kinds of people that have an influence regarding information and wealth. And as we know from Wolverine's message that a good friend of his, a whale, was killed, attacked and killed yesterday. So these guys are not messing around, and we all have to be extremely careful where we go, what we do, no unnecessary travel. Just be very, very careful what you do, what you say, where you go, who's around you. Don't go to unnecessary parties and nightclubs and things like that, because you just never know. You just never know, and it's always the people you least suspect that may be the ones. Don't leave your drink uncovered in a public place. Always keep, your eye on your food. Don't get up and go to the bathroom if you're at a restaurant. That kind of thing. Just be very careful, okay? This is getting serious. One person has already died within the last 24 hours. So, it's a shame it's come to this, but it's not unexpected. This is war. We are soldiers, and this kind of thing is going to happen when you're taking out the bad guys who's held control for so long. They're going to do everything they can to stop that control being taken from them. And just be very careful, okay? Be very smart, very careful.
Regardless of the words Trump will speak to EU leaders, his message will be very clear. The unholy trinity is dismantled. DC, the Vatican, and the City of London have been taken offline. Their global control systems are captured. Their escape routes are gone, and the US now controls the battlefield. Financial, spiritual, military, and digital. This isn't a negotiation, it's an ultimatum. Cooperate and return sovereignty to your nations, or go down with the collapsing globalist system. The storm has arrived. Captain Kyle Patriots.
The meeting between His Excellency, Mr. Ali Mohsen al-Alak, Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, and Oliver Wyman focused on discussing the Iraqi Private Banks Association's letter regarding the banking reform plan. The central bank aims to stabilize and strengthen the banking sector by aligning with international standards and local laws, enhancing governance, compliance, and risk management. The plan seeks to boost local and international confidence in Iraqi banks, restore relationships with accredited correspondent banks, and promote economic development through efficient, technology-driven services. Oliver Wyman is exploring flexible adaptations to the plan's provisions to facilitate its implementation. The central bank acknowledges the cooperation of banks and emphasizes that the plan's success relies on collective efforts. For further details, refer to the official Central Bank of Iraq communications, posted by Goldilocks.
After a 16-year hiatus, Iraq resumed its WTO accession talks in July 2024. The country is working towards aligning its trade policies and regulations with WTO standards. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Resumed accession talks. Iraq's accession process was formally relaunched in July 2024 with the third meeting of the Working Party on the accession of Iraq. Commitment to reforms. Iraq has reaffirmed its commitment to joining the WTO and is undertaking significant economic and legislative reforms to meet the requirements. Technical and legal preparations. The WTO membership process requires Iraq to address a wide range of questions from WTO members regarding its trade regime, including bilateral tariff concessions and market access for services. Harmonizing trade regime. Iraq is working to unify tariff rates and customs procedures across the country, including between the federal government and the Kurdistan region, to create a more consistent trade environment. Benefits of membership. Joining the WTO would provide Iraq with improved access to global trade, align its economic policies with international standards, and facilitate economic integration with its neighbors. Challenges. As a developing and post-conflict nation, Iraq faces challenges in meeting the technical and legal obligations associated with WTO accession, posted by Real People Real News. For those paying attention, I noted the podium had a cover on it prior to CICDJT starting the presser. The podium cover was removed before he started speaking. That is considered a reveal or unmasking. Can't really say much more than that. Just wanted to make sure you all noted it, posted by Stryker.
The Supreme Court has declined to hear the appeal of a student who was banned from wearing a shirt that reads, "There are only two genders," at his Massachusetts school. I'm starting to think the highest court in the land wants the radical lunacy to take over. Posted by Sergeant News Network. Iraq plus Prime Minister Sadani plus fatwa equals. Trump/Oliver Wyman/US admin is giving Iraq 20 days to implement their banking reforms and are obligated to increase capital to 400 billion dinars with the possibility of extending beyond the 20 days. So how TF will these banks increase their capital to that amount? The reinstatement of the Iraq dinar/purchasing power. Prime Minister al-Sudani plus fatwa equals. Remember, the parliamentary election is being held in Iraq November 11, 2025. In which the new parliament will elect a president, who will then appoint a prime minister. What's the incentive for the president/prime minister or any politicians to get re-elected? A new dinar exchange rate and major purchasing power for Iraqi citizens. No way we do not see a new dinar rate by election date. Posted by Smooth Ray on X.
Posted by Southern Boy, and it was on RV Highlights on Telegram. The something covered up by the 20 of 20. KERRIE-ANN, Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Ali Alak, stressed that the banking reform document 2025 represents a strategic step to strengthen the confidence of the Iraqi banking system and address the imbalances. Al-Alak pointed out in a press statement that about 80% of the Iraqi currency is stored outside banks and homes due to the weakness of confidence in the banking system. Al-Alak explained that the reform document aims to modernize banks according to international standards and attract global partnerships. Ordered from Breakfast with Tiffany on Telegram. Central Bank, 10 banks under liquidation are unable to return citizen deposits. 54 years of fiat slavery time's up. Under Nixon, end gold standard. Under President Trump, begin gold standard. So 15th of August 1971 to 15th of August 2025, from Babylon's paper to Kingdom's gold. Know your rights under constitutional common law. We are all sovereign men and women under the common law constitution, endowed with God-given rights that cannot be taken away. We affirm our innate capacity for self-governance and each take responsibility for ourselves and our actions. We declare that every man and woman is inalienably endowed with the natural right to think, say, or do anything they choose, howsoever they choose, provided they do not cause harm to another man or woman, as well as to refuse to think, say, or do anything they choose, as well as to receive remedy for every trespass against this right on proof of lawful claim, and for the avoidance of doubt declare the singular right to explicitly include the following natural rights, and these two have been highlighted. Right to live freely in peace without, it's a little bit blurry, but I can see hindrance or charge. Right to use and enjoy any and all property held in peaceful possession without charge or levy. This document you can send to debt collectors. So this was shared by one of the Telegram channels, and I just saved it to my Telegram page. Now my Telegram page is Divine Harmony, and it'll be saved there. So, pretty straightforward. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. I, a woman in body, mind, spirit, have examined your recent voluntary submission of evidentiary documents claiming an account debt and hereby conditionally accept said claim upon verification. In order to properly validate, we require you to provide 1. A valid contract signed in wet ink by both parties confirming bilateral consent. 2. A true invoice based upon generally accepted accounting practice, GAAP. 3. A true and certified copy of the complete audit trail of said account. 4. Audit certification of debt entry in accordance with Generally Accepted Accounting Practice GAAP, International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, the Basel III Accord, and the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, UNCITRAL conventions. 5. A copy of your tax registration certificate. Failure to substantiate said claim within 30 days of recorded delivery of this notice shall constitute legal lawful accord and satisfaction given to settle and close all alleged claims and stopped by accessions. Well, I don't know what that word is. In that event, we reserve the right to charge damages against name of addressee above in his private capacity under his full commercial liability for false claims presented thereafter regarding this matter whatsoever. We look forward to reviewing your evidence or confirmation or of settlement of the account. Signed, right in blue ink, your autograph by first name, last name.
They didn't just tell you. He was crucified. They made you afraid to remember why. Whether it happened in flesh or was staged in story, the crucifixion of Yahusha was more than history. It was an implant, a psychic brand burned into the collective nervous system of humanity. The threat was never the man. It was the frequency he embodied, Christ consciousness that dissolves intermediaries, collapses hierarchies, and makes every soul a direct embodiment of Source. Fear is the currency of control, and nothing embeds it like a public execution, so the story was told and retold until it etched a warning into the bones of belief. Step outside the sky God's order, and you will be humiliated, broken, erased. Blood on wood or orchestrated theater, the effect was the same. It tied spiritual sovereignty to suffering and made humanity afraid to stand in full remembrance. Because if you knew what he knew, you'd never need their temples, their priests, their tithes. You'd know the kingdom was always within, and their power was always borrowed from your forgetfulness. Christ consciousness was never meant to be worshipped. It was meant to be embodied. That's the resurrection, not of a man, but of a frequency that cannot be killed. And here you are, not bowing to the story, but walking as the truth they tried to bury beneath it. Love, light, and infinite evolution. Posted by Abu Feliz.
Isaiah 43, verse 18 to 19. The Lord says, forget what happened before, and do not think about the past. Look at the new thing I am going to do. It is already happening. Don't you see it? Mindset limited by fear versus mindset when fear is released. Remaining in pain because it's familiar. Realizing comfortable doesn't mean happy. Settling for mediocrity. Being the best you can be. Avoiding challenges to avoid failing. Welcoming challenges and learning from failure. Giving up on your dreams because they are not realistic. Creating your own reality. Trying to change the external world without addressing the inner problem. Making changes in yourself to improve your external world. When you truly see there is nothing to forgive, forgiveness implies you were once in a higher place and someone else fell short. In truth, there is only understanding. By Octavia Vasily. People swear they're fighting demons when the whole time they're fighting the consequences of their actions and decisions. Everything the enemy has stolen, God is going to restore. The joy, the peace, the health, the dreams. This was forwarded from the neighbors. Life is strange. You arrive with nothing, spend your whole life chasing everything, and still leave with nothing. Make sure your soul gains more than your hands.